Meghan Markle, meet the truth. Truth, meet Meghan Markle. I don't think you know each other. In fact, I fear that you're complete strangers. Yep, the devious Duchess is at it again, playing the victim card, lashing out at all those horrible lies that all those nasty people tell about her. By that, she means anything that anyone says about her that she doesn't like.
He's moved on. He has put Meghan behind him. He probably is not interested in people bringing up his past relationship. He has 3 children now with his new wife.
Information came direct from Meghan's ex-husband, Trevor Engelson, via an intermediary. And obviously Trevor Engelson is a very successful TV producer. He now has his own family. He's very happy.
She can't have children. Those words are said to have come from Trevor Engelson, Meghan Markle's first husband, in a private conversation recently leaked. Just that one line, without any further detail, was enough to send social media and the press into a frenzy. Because if it were true, why is Meghan now the mother of 2 royal children? Is this a rare medical misunderstanding, a biological miracle, or a carefully calculated lie? The marriage that time forgot. Trevor Engelson was no nobody. He was a Hollywood producer with steady projects and an impressive industry network. Meghan met Trevor in the early 2000s, when she was an untested actress, eking out minor roles in commercials and TV shows. Their connection blossomed from the shared ambitions of 2 young professionals striving for success in the tough world of American show business. Their relationship endured for 6 years before they married in 2011. The wedding took place in Jamaica, simple, private, and far from extravagance. It coincided with Meghan landing her first major role on USA Network's Suits, filmed in Toronto. That career breakthrough introduced physical distance to their marriage, but by all accounts, Trevor never let it become a barrier. He frequently flew from Los Angeles to Toronto, sent thoughtful gifts, and even considered relocating his work to be closer to her. Yet Meghan gradually grew distant. There was no public quarrel, no scandalous affair, no dramatic meltdown, only a quiet cooling, a deliberate seeming withdrawal, according to Trevor's friends. She continued to call and text, punctually and politely, but the emotional bond had eroded. Insiders describe her departure not as a dramatic exit, but as a silent separation. Then one day, Trevor received a package inside. Was the wedding ring he'd given Meghan. No note, no explanation, no farewell, just her ring, returned. It was a cold, calculated gesture, as if Meghan had planned it all along, and now chose to end things cleanly and efficiently. For Trevor, this was more than the end of a marriage. It was the collapse of a reality he once believed in fully. A friend recalls, one day, they were talking about starting a family. The next, he got his ring back in the mail. There was no time to brace for a breakup like that. During their time together, Meghan confided in Trevor that she couldn't have children. That statement wasn't a lament, but a clear assertion, one that shaped Trevor's understanding of their future, a child-free marriage, sustained by love and companionship. According to close friends, Trevor accepted this without bitterness or doubt. He loved Meghan, so he willingly adjusted his dreams of a conventional family around her. So when news broke of Meghan's pregnancy with Prince Harry's first child, Trevor's reaction wasn't jealousy or anger, but profound shock. While the world rejoiced at the news of a royal baby, he quietly endured the realization that what he had accepted as truth might have been only the version Meghan wanted him to see. Trevor never sought the spotlight afterward. He didn't write a memoir or hold a press conference. But those close to him say his deepest pain wasn't that Meghan moved on, it was that he had never known the full story. When a woman tells you she cannot bear children, you reshape your hopes, your dreams, even your identity around that certainty. But when you learn it wasn't true and receive no explanation, every promise you made suddenly feels hollow. Public opinion quickly split. Some argued that medical diagnoses can change, misdiagnoses happen, and biological miracles do occur. That much is true. But the real issue that isn't medical, it's emotional, it's the stolen trust. It's the man who sacrificed his own dream of fatherhood for love and then watched her become a mother without a word of clarification. The sense of betrayal didn't stem from Meghan having children. It sprang from how she managed her past, a past Trevor believed they shared. Her silent return of the ring had devastated him, but learning of her motherhood afterward delivered a deeper blow that he may never have been part of her long-term plan. Trevor doesn't blame Meghan for moving forward, but the wound of being left behind, excluded from a critical truth, is a scar time struggles to heal. He hasn't voiced his pain in anger, but carried it in silence for years. Now, with the final piece of the puzzle revealed, a story once thought complete feels more unsettled than ever. Damage control efforts, shortly after Trevor Engelson's insinuation, began circulating on social media and independent blogs. A wave of suspicion swelled quiet enough to hum in the background, yet powerful enough to unsettle. Within Meghan Markle's communications team, this was no trifling rumor, but a full-blown crisis situation. A source close to her PR operation reveals that Meghan was furious to discover a past she thought buried, resurrecting itself this time from the very man who had shared her bed for years. No official statement was ever released. That's not Meghan's style. Instead, as industry insiders note, she responded with tactic and precision. Her media apparatus swung into defense mode. Posts mentioning Trevor Engelson were flagged, removed, or buried beneath a flurry of positive coverage. Several Royal Watch bloggers received legal-style takedown requests to edit or delete their stories. Reddit's threads, Twitter feeds, and even TikTok saw spikes in content removal by request right when the Trevor narrative peaked. On one front, Meghan strove to choke off the story's spread. On another, she tightened control behind the scenes. A former collaborator on her US PR team says the inner circle was locked down. During that period, personal phones restricted, press engagements strictly vetted, and every public remark or interview snippet passed through 3 layers of review before release. Meghan was determined not to trip over a shadow from her past yet. The intensity of these reactions only fueled public suspicion. It's important to note that Meghan and Prince Harry are renowned for meticulously shaping their public image. From their Netflix documentary to Harry's memoir, Spare, every detail is crafted to convey a deliberate message. So when an element from her past slipped outside their media script, their entire defense network was triggered instantly. This episode carried extra weight because it didn't originate from tabloids or paparazzi, but from Meghan's own ex-husband. No one could easily dismiss Trevor's claim, even though he hadn't appeared on camera or issued a formal affidavit. In a media ecosystem driven by rumor, what matters less is who speaks, and more who does not deny. And for the duration of the story's circulation, Meghan remained absolutely silent. The question on everyone's mind Why stay silent if you know you're in the right? Men communications experts argue that Meghan's no-comment stance was a tried-and-true strategy to avoid fanning the flames. Yet in this case, her silence only encouraged further conjecture, especially once social platforms began recycling old footage and photos from Meghan's acting days in Los Angeles, party clips, behind-the-scenes shots, and personal details long buried. The credibility of Trevor's lone comment seemed amplified. Buckingham Palace issued no comment, which was unsurprising. After the explosive Oprah interview, relations between Harry and Meghan and senior royals have been all but frozen. Insiders say Palace Communications simply monitored the situation without any obligation to intervene effectively, leaving Meghan to handle this personal crisis herself. During that time, the strong feminist icon image Meghan had cultivated, independent, successful, unapologetically authentic, came under intense scrutiny. The scandal wasn't merely about her ability to bear children. It went deeper about personal honesty in intimate relationships. When a man who shared nearly a decade of his life says he was told she can't have children, only to watch his ex-wife publicly expecting his emotional turmoil becomes a human interest pressure test on Meghan's public brand. Public relations specialists point out that while there may be no legal issue here, such a psychological shock can fracture public trust. Meghan's personal brand rests on empathy and transparency, one cultural commentator wrote in The Spectator. If even a shred of Trevor's account is true, it strikes at the very heart of that brand. Thus, what seemed a minor decades-old remark took on a life of its own. When you build a career on controlling your image, a single crack sourced from someone who knows you best can threaten to bring the whole facade tumbling down. Trevor Engelson didn't step forward to defame her. He didn't seize the cameras to spill bitterness, nor did he exploit Meghan's name for profit. Yet, one offhand remark that his ex-wife told him she couldn't have children was enough to send social media into a frenzy. It wasn't an accusation, it was a question mark, heavy, piercing, and impossible to shrug off. Meghan hasn't been convicted of anything. There's no proof she meant to deceive. Medical diagnoses can change, misdiagnoses happen all the time. But what the public reacted to wasn't a physical change, it was her complete silence over something that had formed the foundation of their love. When you've once shared your future with someone, the truth isn't something you can pick and choose. And so the biggest question still hangs in the air. Is everything we think we know about Meghan, her honesty, her sincerity, her integrity really what she wants the world to believe? People don't just want to know if Meghan lied. They want to know how many more masks is she still wearing? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Who do you believe and why? Don't forget to hit like if you found this video helpful and subscribe so you won't miss the untold true stories from behind the royal curtain that everyone's talking about.